Welcome back to Miss Burkhart's math class. Remember, you need to have your notes with you and something to write with so you can take notes as you watch the video. Remember, pause the video at any time to make sure you catch up with your notes and you get to fill them in completely. Rewind if you're not understanding something, and you can play back at any time to make sure you fully understand the concept before you move on. So today we're going to continue with Standard 6.2a, representing and determining equivalencies among fractions, mixed numbers, decimals, and percents. Specifically, today you are going to learn how to represent and determine equivalencies among percents and decimals. So let's get started.
Now I want to change a percent to a decimal. So with this, if I'm giving my percent, here's my 40%. There's a few ways we can do it. Remember what 40% means. Sometimes, and this will start to look familiar, 40%. So 40 out of 100, right? That would be 10, 20, 30, 40, right? But how do I read this? 40 hundredths. Remember, when you have in the denominator tenths, hundredths, thousandths, all of those are our decimal place value names. So this can be a little bit easier by saying, 40 hundredths. So there's my 0. I don't have any whole numbers. Tenths, hundredths, right? So I need to have my last digit in the hundredths place. 40 hundredths. So read that decimal. 40 hundredths. What's this fraction? 40 hundredths. And then the percent is 40%, 40 out of 100. Now let's try 8%. What does 8% mean? It is 8 out of 100. So it's just 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Now read the fraction. 8 hundredths. How do I write that decimal? There's the decimal. Do I write it like this? No. Why not? What is that? That's 8 tenths. I don't want 8 tenths. What do we want? 8 hundredths. That's why I like to draw the lines underneath. So I'm going, oh, okay, there's tenths, hundredths. I know my last digit has to be in this place right here. 8 hundredths. So what goes here? A 0. So that decimal is 8 hundredths. There is 8%, 8 out of 100. Okay. Now, notice something. I want you to take a look because there is a little shortcut. Notice, where is the decimal in the percent? So let's look at 40%. Where is the decimal point? You're like, there isn't a decimal point there. True. So if there's not, where is it understood to be? Right at the end. Right, if you can see the little red dot, right there. Where did it end up when we found the decimal form of it? In front of it. It moved from here, right, at 40, it went 2 places, percent, to the left. Because remember, 40% is less than 100%, so your decimal has to be less than the 1 whole. Now, what about 8%? Where's the decimal in the percent? Here at the end. Where did it end up? So it started here, and it went 1, 2, I'd like to say percent. Okay, just a little tip. Now let's see if we can use that to help us with the next one. Now we're going to go, from decimal to percent. Saw some of the answers there. So let's take a look. If we have, and we're starting out with 3 tenths. Remember, read the decimal, 3 tenths. Okay, so if you like the picture, we can do that. And let me get my pen. So 3 tenths. So this is 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths. Remember, there's 10 columns. So how many hundredths did you shade in? 30 hundredths, right? That is equivalent to, now you can also write 3 tenths. Whoops, if I can get my pen to work. 3 tenths. But that's an equivalent fraction to 30 100ths, right? Because you can multiply by 10 and then multiply by 10. Okay, so what is the percent then? 30%. What about the next one? Read this decimal. 15 hundredths. Ooh, that one's going to be nice. 15 hundredths. That's already hundredths, right? What does percent mean? Out of 100. I really don't have to do anything because that is 15%, because percent and out of 100 mean the same thing. How are we doing so far? All right. So take a look again and see if the decimal point, our little trick there, except now we were given the decimal and we wanted to go to the percent. So notice when it was in decimal form, the decimal point was right here. Where did it end up? Over here. Now we went to the right. Now look at the 15%. The decimal was right here, and now we move it 2 places to right there. Now if that confuses you, I don't want you to focus on that. If the pictures help, then I want you to do that as well, or focusing on making the equivalent fraction to 100. So you can read the decimal, write the fraction, and then get it to 100 if it is not already.
Now it's your turn to try. So please make sure for each of these 4 problems that you are showing your work as to how you got your answer. Do not just put an answer, but show yourself and me how you got that answer. Show your work. So you're going to pause the video, work on these 4 problems. When you're finished with the 4 problems on your paper, press play, and then the quiz questions will pop up. So go ahead and press pause. So to wrap up, in today's lesson, you learned how to represent and determine equivalencies among percents and decimals. So great job. You did it. Make sure that you keep your notes in your binder and bring it to class. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.